Good morning. A few months back, I remember while taking one class, a lady said, "My husband's otherwise very loving, but at times he gets difficult. And he even becomes so abusive, and I do not understand." Of course, she was about to label him based on all the available tags and findings. She gave me so many incidences where he had been abusive and how he had humiliated her in front of others and also in private. And she was in double mind whether to honor his love for her or stand up for herself and say no to the abuse and walk out of marriage. So I asked her, how do you know that he loves you? He says he's very nice in between the abusive behavior. He cares for me. He makes sure that I'm comfortable. He provides for me. And if I'm sick, he will be all around me. And I can see that love in his eyes. But when he becomes abusive, it's terrible. And I can't take it. And I've tried different ways, and he can still be abusive. Now, when I'm saying she and he know that even women can be abusive, it's not about men only. It's just that women can complain or do complaints about abusive behavior from men. Men only talk to therapists about being abused by women in their lives, or they don't even go to a therapist at times, right? So I've come across quite a few men who are physically violated by women. And that kind of opened up a different perspective. So I asked him, tell me about his parenting. How were they parented? The siblings, and especially him, since his parents are also abusive. And he used to be beaten up beaten up, very badly. Sorry. So says it was a terrible time for him, but he didn't think that it was so bad because probably that was the culture in their village and that location. And that's what I explained to her, that there is a deep association of love with abuse. Our parents teach us the values and ways of love. If parents become abusive, there's a deep association of abuse with love. So if parents criticize, you tend to criticize your loved ones, or you go exactly opposite and you never criticize anyone. If parents judge, you tend to be a little judgmental about the loved ones, or you go exactly opposite and never judge anyone. If parents have been beating up, you would definitely feel like abusing yourself or someone else, especially those you're in love with, because it all happens in love. You wouldn't beat up any stranger, right? You only would do to your loved ones. And if parents have been very disciplinarian, probably you'd do the same, and perhaps just opposite. A way of treating our loved ones is often determined by a perception of love from our loved ones, and namely parents. We picked it up from our parents and we continue in our awareness. Now, what if you have partners, relatives, friends who are abusive? What do you do with them and how do you handle them? Well, why would you want to be victimized? Okay, check it out. Are you abusing yourself? And abuse is not just physical violence or verbal violence. It's taking unfair advantage of yourself. Have you been abusing yourself? Have you been abusing the benevolence? Have you been abusing the resources provided by the resource creator? If you forgive yourself for being abusive, you will open up to the possibility of enjoying abuse-free love. Of course, put your foot down and say no to abuse. But before that, work on yourself and forgive yourself for being abusive in the current life or perhaps in past life pre-programming. Forgive yourself for victimizing others in the current life or in past life pre-programming. And forgive yourself for judging others who were victimized in the past. And forgive yourself for not being there for people who were victimized and help them out. In all these cases, there is a need to feel victimized. And that's what creates the possibilities of being abused by your loved ones. Have a great weekend ahead. Think on those lines and help yourself if you ever feel victimized or abused by your loved ones.